Hey everyone, it's Brett Hornby here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel here, and I'm going to talk more about this right here. First vlog number 53 here is more of why I love the Robson Valley here, and hopefully if the weather holds up here, I'll be back there in a week's time here, as I'll be back enjoying some fall foliage here. Enjoy the, based on when I went there last year. Definitely capture some colors in between some of the snow here, but it's also nice to go there when it's a little quieter there. And I mean, I've already made a couple videos, especially if you go even my first vlog, on how Mount Robson changed my life, and number 43 I talked about my Heritage Weekend memories, and talking about looking back on that long weekend there. But number 53 is more talking about why I love the Robson Valley, and I mean, it's definitely a beautiful place to go, and it's the beauty with it is that you're far away from the big city in Calgary, and I know some locals that live in that area think I'm crazy that you live in the big city. Why do you come here on holidays? When I always say, well, even big city guys need to, get away from it all once in a while. And the beauty with it is, I mean, Canada is so vast and big, but the problem is there's lots of places I would love to see in Canada, but it's like, damn, you're faced with two choices. It's either, especially, when you're talking about driving for days. I mean, if you want to drive across the country here, it's going to take you days. I mean, you need to eat and sleep and go to the bathroom and, do all that stuff. Or the flights get you by, well, if you want to be in the same continent, the same calendar day, you got to fly there. And I mean, I've been finding flying is not only less pleasurable over the years, but flying domestically in Canada is a lot more expensive. I mean, I hear people talk about going to Atlantic Canada is beautiful, and I would also, speaking of fall foliage, based on pictures, I would love to go to, Halifax and check out Halifax, and then rent a car and drive up to the Cape Breton and see the Cabot Trail there. But the thing is, it's going to cost me a lot more to fly there than it does to, like, say, go to Vegas or go to Mexico for a week and get hammered and go on an all-inclusive resort and have all the beer and snacks I want in Mexico, for example. So the beauty of going back to the Robson Valley here is that I can be far away from the city, but I can still drive there in a day. Even, I mean, last year, I did my quick fall foliage trip there. Fortunately, we had a bad snowstorm here in Calgary, but it was the southern part of the province that got buried there, but it's still early enough in the fall there that a lot of snow would melt there. However, I was forced to be in a fair weather driver myself. Took the long way to Mount Robson and Valemont, which it's still, I get there in 9 hours, so it's still reasonable enough a drive that you can drive there and be there within a day. I mean, a good day's driving. I mean, even if you want to throw in a few sightseeing and grab something to eat there, I mean, that's a couple more hours. I mean, you're still there, unless you're really taking your time, that you can get there in a day. Or if you want to really break it up, 2 days. And then beauty, I mean, from Calgary, the most practical way, the shortest way, gets you through, Banff, Lake Louise, and Jasper, and the Icefields Parkway. So the journey to Mount Robson is definitely spectacular. I know Valemont, I hear, is kind of the unofficial halfway point if you were driving from Edmonton to Vancouver, but then you miss the Icefields Parkway. But still, it's a beautiful area. I mean, your close vicinity to Jasper National Park. I mean, especially if you're not willing to pay high prices to stay in Jasper. That's what eventually led me to Valemount there. But the other natural beauty of this place is how the Fraser Valley, this Fraser River, carves out that valley. I mean, you see it you see it a lot more if you Google Earth, Google Maps here. How you're just in this valley. You got mountains surrounding you, and you got this river valley carving your way. And I mean, depending which way you're going. I mean, if you're going from Jasper, number 16 to Prince George, there you definitely get that valley effect there. And then there's that intersection at Tuggekesh where you drove south on number 5, and I mean Valemount's 20 kilometers south there, and eventually that's that road that takes you down to Kamloops and meets up with the 1 there, and another continue down to 5 to take down the Coquihalla to Hope, eventually to Vancouver, or take the scenic way to Vancouver on Highway 1. But I mean, yeah, it's just how it's carved out. And then I mean, the big feature of Mount Robson is it's the tallest mountain in the Canadian Rockies range there, and with all these surrounding mountains that's in that area there, I mean, especially when you're going east on the Yellowhead past the Tuggekesh there, you definitely see this big towering mountain staring at you, and it's definitely a spectacular sight if you're fortunate enough to be there when it's clear day. And I definitely pounce on that opportunity to do some mountain watching when it's a clear day and you see the top of it. I mean it's above sea level. It's almost 4 kilometers high. I mean, 3,954 meters. I mean, that's almost 4 kilometers high. I mean, it definitely puts skyscrapers to shame, but nature's skyscrapers. And going back to the big city there, it's nice to see nature's skyscrapers and mountains. And then of course, you got Moose Lake, which is kind of the mouth of the Fraser River, and it's the same river that starts from the mainland and works its way up through British Columbia there. And then if you're also lucky, in late August there, I have seen it in Swift Creek in the village of Valemount, and I do have a video on there where I do some salmon watching, and there's salmon right in the creek there. However, apparently salmon can make it as far as Rearguard Falls, which is near Tuggekesh there. I haven't seen it myself, but apparently if you're lucky you might be able to see some salmon up there. The strongest salmon make it all the way up there, and it's like over 1,000-kilometer journey just following the Fraser River there. So it's definitely incredible to think about away from the Pacific Ocean there. And then, like I say, the 2 villages that I love staying in the Robson Valley. I mean, you got Valemount, and then you got McBride there. McBride is kind of the unofficial halfway point between Jasper and Prince George there. But I mean, McBride, you definitely see also how the valley carves out, because the Fraser River does go through McBride there. It's just, you get flat, land. Some people have farms around that area. I mean, it's a logging community as well there. But it's just interesting how a highway and eventually the Canadian National Railway also was built through there. And it just takes you through a scenic way through the country there. And, if you're on Via Rail, you can see Mount Robson either if you take the Canadian route, which goes from Vancouver all the way to Toronto, or the Skeena route, where the Skeena River is near Prince Rupert, which is the other port city in kind of the central part of British Columbia, and takes you all the way to Jasper there. So you definitely get to see Mount Robson along the way there. And I mean, there's just definitely a lot of historical treasures I've found over the years, either at the visitor center, or finally I was able to get be at the Dunster train station right when it's open there. There were definitely a lot of historical goodies in there about the Robson Valley, and hearing stories of how Tuckjunkesh, used to be a town, and then it got flooded, and there used to be like regular, ferry service that took you to Prince George back in the day in the Fraser River there. But I share all my pictures on social media and Instagram there, and if you know me personally, it's definitely my favorite site in the Canadian Rockies, and every year since 2008 I've always needed to spend some of my holiday time there. You can almost say, maybe, who knows, maybe one day I might announce that I'm moving there and start my new life there, who knows. I love Calgary, I'm proud to be from Calgary, and it'd definitely be a big lifestyle change if I did that. But as to what people in Ontario say, going away to the cottage, for me that feels like me going out to the cottage without having like an actual cottage where I have to worry about maintaining there. But it's definitely a beautiful place, and the Canadian Rockies, you get people, I bump into people from all over the world along the way that they come all the way out here to enjoy the scenery. And I'm like, wow, that's quite a long ways to go. And then, unfortunately, we had some wildfires there last year, so it must really suck for those people that come all the way out here and don't see everything in its full beauty because of the wildfire smoke. Also, when I was at the Dunster train station, and it was a nice lady I was chatting with. There's tours that always take you from Jasper to Dunster, where it's called Sundog Tours, where you take the Skeena train from Jasper, takes you to Dunster, and then you take a bus back to Jasper, but it stops you in the trains. You're at the train station, and you go through your Rearguard Falls and see my favorite site in the Canadian Rockies, and then eventually you work your way back there. But who knows, maybe you're watching this, but I was chatting with a nice lady that was at the Dunster station there, and we were sharing travel stories. She was mentioning about how she loves living out there with her family and kids, and then she got to the point where you got people from Europe, and it tells you how big Canada is, but yet not how populated it is at the same time. That you got people that come out here, and they're like a little scared in a way, or a little afraid about that's all, like these few houses and that's it for a town, and then it's like the next town is not for another half an hour drive away. That's McBride if you're in Dunster, and you're like, yeah, and only 1,000 people live there, but it must be still a little surreal to have some from Europe where they're not used to being in a province. The province is bigger than the country they come from, and then B, they're in a country that's smaller than the province they're in, but has more people living there than in the whole country of Canada. So that's definitely another surreal experience. Talking about having to get out of the big city there, and that's the thing. Definitely that's the one thing that makes Canada unique, is the fact that we're so big. Yeah, we're densely populated in major centers, but we have all this land elsewhere. And that's what I love about going out to Mount Robson. And, I always say if things go right and plan, I would love to at least live in Jasper, or able to find a way to live in Jasper when I slow down and retire and be closer to the Robson Valley. But I might not rule out the possibility that I might maybe live there when I retire, because I just love the area so much. But I just say you need to go there yourself to see what I mean, because I can't. There's pictures, and I can't bottle my emotions to give to you what I feel when I'm out there and taking in the sights and smells, and just thinking you got people come from all over the world. When I'm just sitting at the visitor center doing some out watching and figuring out people definitely have come from a much further away place than I have, and enjoy the Rockies as well. So anyway, if you enjoy everything I do on my YouTube channel, just make sure you hit like, subscribe. These personal vlogs are a nice storytelling, take a break away, but I mostly do Calgary Sports here, and you know, occasionally I might share some videos when I'm out in the Robson Valley there, and show you how beautiful Mount Robson is when there's not a cloud in the sky. And fortunately, I've had a few instances where I got to enjoy that, and I'm damn well going to make sure to take as many pictures as I can and capture some video. So if this sounds like everything you like, just make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. And it's nice to get a couple of personal vlogs added into the playlist as well, on top of my sports content. So I always say, I'll see you in the next video here.